Hi there, I want to talk today about how you can get to sleep at night when you put your head on the pillow. So, how you can be asleep in about 20 minutes. So, if you're a person who has trouble when they go to bed actually getting to sleep, then this is going to be perfect for you. So, I'm Andrea, I'm a sleep and menopause coach, and I help primarily women over the age of 40 to get better sleep. So, the first thing that I want to say is that if you are trying to get to sleep, so actually putting your head on your pillow and you're trying to get to sleep, then sleep is not going to come, because sleep is a very natural process and it occurs without us actually trying to do it or even thinking anything about it. So if you're thinking about going to sleep, if you're getting concerned before you go to bed that you might not get to sleep, then those are things that are going to obstruct your sleep. So I've got a few tips coming up that hopefully are going to help you to get better sleep. So the first thing that I want to say about actually getting to sleep and making it easy is that what I aim to do with my clients is actually to get them to become what I call a carefree sleeper. So what I call a carefree sleeper is actually somebody who isn't thinking about sleep when they go to bed. They're not worrying about going to sleep. They're not worrying about missing sleep. They're not worrying about how they're going to feel the next day if they do have a bad night's sleep. So it's somebody who is actually, really doesn't care about the sleep. And that is what a good sleeper is actually like. If you think about a good sleeper that they don't worry about all these things, they just go to bed and they go to sleep. So that's always my aim with my clients, is to get them to be what I call a carefree sleeper. Now, I know that's easy for me to say, but that's the aim. That is the first stepping stone in actually starting to get better sleep. So how do you get there? Well, the first thing to actually acknowledge is that you were born with the ability to sleep and you still have that ability to sleep. It's not gone away. There's nothing broken in your brain. You still have the ability to go to sleep. It's just that in life, generally, as adults, we develop behaviours, anxieties, and habits that cause problems for our sleep. So we're our own worst enemies, really. Now, some of the things that actually cause problems for sleep for us as adults are, firstly, having a poor circadian rhythm. So actually lying in bed in the morning, hitting the snooze button, lying in bed at weekends, not having a routine. Going to bed earlier at night to try and catch up on sleep if you've had a bad night. So all those things are going to cause a problem for your sleep going forward. Other things that can cause a problem are using our devices, so our iPhones and our iPads, which emit that awful blue light. That blue light is particularly obstructive for sleep. We've got sensors in the back of our eyes that pick up that light. It's not good for helping us to, initiate sleep when we go to bed. So we do those things. Lots of us are doing those things. Other things that don't help us to sleep, sugar spikes. So if you're eating lots of carbohydrates and sugary things in an evening, that's going to give you a sugar spike through the night. That's going to obstruct your sleep. We know that now. It's going to cause you to have palpitations. It's going to cause your cortisol levels to rise, and that's not good to help with your sleep. Other things that don't help are having a sedentary lifestyle, so not doing enough exercise and getting enough outside daylight. Other things are being busy. So if you're really, really busy during the day, and lots of us are now, our brain is constantly on the go. Even when we get a bit of downtime, again, we're using our phones, aren't we? Our brains are never getting a rest, and that is a problem for sleep. It obstructs us because our brains have forgotten how to actually rest. And so when we go to bed, our brains are still on red alert, and they're still actually, our brains are whirring. So that's an obstruction. So I think it's useful to think sometimes about the physiology of sleep. So let's think about a few things that actually do help us to go to sleep. So we have a hormone that's made in our brain called melatonin. You've probably heard of it. Melatonin helps us to initiate sleep. And melatonin is in tune with the light and the dark cycle of the day. So in the evening when it goes dark, our melatonin levels go up, and in the morning when it becomes light at dawn, our melatonin levels go down, and that promotes wakefulness during the day. So if you want to sort of enhance your ability to go to sleep, a really good thing to do is first thing in the morning, get outside and get some of that really bright light, get those sensors working so that you actually become awake. You're going to feel better during the day. And then in the evening, make sure that your lights are dim so that your melatonin levels are going to start to rise, and that's going to help. That's one thing that you can do. Another thing that happens in our brains is we have a neurotransmitter called adenosine. Now, adenosine helps us to sleep much, much better, but we need a good amount of it before we go to bed to actually go to sleep well. Adenosine is built up through the day. Now, in the morning, when we get up, we should have not very, very much adenosine at all if we've been asleep during the night. And then during the day, as we go about our lives, if we're exercising, if we're getting daylight, if we're being busy, all those things are going to contribute to the increase in adenosine. And we need to have been awake for a certain amount of time to actually have enough adenosine. So if you're napping during the day, you're going to be taking from your adenosine stores. So try not to nap if you can. If you really, really must, have a very short nap of about 20 minutes. Make sure it's before about 4 o'clock in the afternoon though. Now, if you are having a particular problem with sleep, then put your bedtime back an hour so that you've got a little bit longer during the day for that adenosine to start building up. And make sure that you only go to bed when you're really, really sleepy. That's very, very important. If you go to bed and you're not tired or sleepy, then you're unlikely to initiate sleep. And then what's going to happen is you start to toss and turn. You're going to become anxious because of the fact that you're not actually going to sleep, and that in itself is going to cause problems. Now, the other thing is a positive mindset. Really, really important. If you can have a positive outlook with regards to your sleep, that's going to help you. The opposite is true. If you're a person who is always moaning about the sleep, saying, my sleep's been terrible, I feel awful, I'm not going to sleep tonight, my health's going to suffer. If you're always talking like that, then let me tell you that your brain, which is a very clever organ, is going to take what you say and it's actually going to try and make that happen. Our brains try and actually carry out the things that we are actually thinking and saying. So if you're saying all the time that you're not going to sleep well tonight, then your brain's going to work hard to make that actually not happen. There was a French psychologist in the 1800s. He's called Emile Coué, I think. And he was sort of master of the autosuggestion. And he said that, what you suggest to yourself and what you speak and think actually is going to contribute to that actually happening. He has a great saying. It is, ideas upon which attention becomes focused become correspondingly magnified. I thought that was really good, because what he's basically saying is that the ideas that you focus on and think about, those are the ideas that are going to come true or become bigger in your life. So if you can switch it round, he was actually the author of the saying, every day in every way, my life is getting better and better. It's something like that anyway. But if you can actually have that saying but make it for sleep, so every day, in every way, my sleep is getting better and better. If you can write that down, and if you can repeat that to yourself out loud if possible several times during the day, then that's going to help you sleep. That's a really good strategy to start doing that. Now, the other thing is anxiety. Anxiety is a huge blocker of sleep. When you put your head on the pillow and your mind starts whirring with thoughts and worries, that's going to obstruct your sleep. This is a huge one. So if you're not addressing anxiety and worries in your life, then this is the first place to start, really. And as lots of people know, I'm a real fan of what's called a constructive worry diary. This is basically a journal that you write down your concerns in, and you actually try to solve those concerns. I'll pop a link down below to my blog where I've got a video there telling you all about how to do a constructive worry diary. Really, really good evidence for this helping people to sleep much better. So that would be the first place I would start if you are having problems initiating sleep. Start doing this worry journal about 2 hours before you go to bed. It only takes about 10 minutes. It doesn't take very long. It's really, really worth doing it. And then other things you can do to help with anxiety is Start a meditative practice. There's lots of apps out there like Calm that you can use, or you could just chant a word. You shut your eyes and chant a word, and if you find that your mind's going off in an opposite direction, just bring your thoughts back to that word that you're chanting. So you could chant something like sleepy and just keep saying sleepy, sleepy. Shut your eyes. What you're doing in that respect is you're giving your brain a rest, really, from all the thoughts and worries, and you're just starting to focus on that one word. Another really great meditative practice, which is the one that I actually prefer, is just reading. Reading is a fantastic meditative practice. You go to somebody else's world, you're not thinking about your own world. So if you're not a reader, or if you are a reader, do lots more of it. If you're not a reader, pick up a book. Get a recommendation for a really good book. That's a really good way to actually calm your mind down. And obviously other ways of calming an anxious mind down are getting out in nature, go for a walk, socialise with some of your friends. That's really, really useful. Do some breathing exercises. Again, lots of instructions on that on the internet, and I've got some instructions on my website too. So have a look at some of those. They're going to help you to actually initiate sleep much, much better. So they're the main things, really. There are lots of other things that we do to help people to start to sleep much better. And if that's something that you're interested in, then on the link below, just register for my sleep webinar. You can watch that. You can find out how you can work with me, and you can find out what's going wrong with your sleep. So that's a good thing to do. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. And I will be back next week with some more information, probably about sleep, maybe about menopause. But thank you so much for watching. Hope those tips do help you to sleep much better tonight.